Hey guys, welcome to the Upperbox podcast. It's week number 2. My name is Justin and I'll be your host. And with me this week, and again, my co-host, the alumni ever since he was a student, Paulo Perez.
Alam mo, hindi ko talaga maintindihan kung saan nanggaling yung kakasitan na yan eh. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan eh. Like literal na sa estudyante pa lang ako sinasabi na yan, parang puta kay kabatch ko, o kahit mas matanda sa akin, parang ba't ganun pare?
Di ka naman kasi talaga ever since. Kaya nga, di alumni. So, dapat, guys, hintay kayo. Ilang months na lang, hindi na alumni ang tawag natin sa kanya. Si attorney na siya. Alumni na siya ng College of Law.
Ang ina mo, salamat sa pressure ha, salamat talaga.
Oo. Pero,
Shishik yun.
until then, ang title mo is Alum. Alum Pao. Okay ba?
Dami mong pauso eh. Dali, mag-basket muna tayo, hayop ka.
Alright, welcome to the second week of the podcast. Before we start officially, let's run down the biggest games of this week. Last October 15, Sunday, San Sebastian won over EAC. And Perpetual showered down a lot of threes against Letran. Nagkaroon na sila lang 0-7. I think wala pa nakagawa nun ng defending champions ever in the NCAA. Benil beat Arellano 72-66. October 17, Tuesday, San Beda, close game against Perpetual. Bro, dito ako natakot. We'll talk about this later. Dito ako natakot kasi sabi ko nung Sunday, grabe yung 3-point power ng Perpetual against Letran. Tapos, we escaped. Barely escaped, 62-60. Then, JRU, one of the best games I've ever seen in NCAA, no? Double overtime against Lyceum, winning by just 1 point. October 18, Mapua against Arellano, 79-65. Tapos, also, nung Wednesday, Letran's first win. We'll cover this then later, pero Rayson's absence was that contributing factor. Also, si Rayson ba? As Coach Renzi ang may problema. October 20, San Beda naman. Pare, I love this game. Pinanood ko to. 76-53, trashes San Sebastian. The classic San Beda. Then this day, Mapua close game again against Perpetual just by 1 point. And a little trashed by JRU against Arellano. So, Coach Pao, how are you feeling sa second episode natin?
Coach Pao ang puta.
Ay, Coach Pao! Alum Pao! Alum Pao!
Di mo, ang dami mo ng nickname sa akin, pare, di mo na maano. Kaya ako sa'yo tigilan mo na. Kasi, alam mo yun, yung sarili mong kalokohan, di ba, it's following through you.
Basta yun, Coach Pao, Alum Pao, tapos future attorney Pao. Kamusta ka?
Okay. So, simulan natin yung games, no? Let's
Sabi
start.
ko, kamusta ka? Hindi mo na, masyado ko focus sa games. Nag-research ka ba?
Okay naman. Ito, sisimula tayo sa podcast natin. Siyempre, hintay-hintay lang. Relax na naman. Meeting with people, meeting with friends. Really tuning in.
Balik tayo sa game.
Really tuning into the games nga ngayon.
Wow.
Diba? Really tuning into the games. And I will say this, no, and I think a lot of people will agree with this. This has got to be one of the most competitive NCAA seasons in recent memory. Kasi if you look at the schedule, we discussed this before, talagang pinapatunayan na this is a very competitive and very tough schedule. Kasi anybody can lose to anybody.
Yes. Hindi talaga siya yung ano eh. Although yung San Beda, sabi ko nga sa friends natin, pare, ito yung na-miss ko sa San Beda, yung kalaban Baste. Nang tatambak. Pare. And let me just put it out there, no? To all San Sebastian listeners, buti nga sa inyo, pinanalo niyo yung Letran. Para silang others, pare. Alam mo sila yung natalo sa Letran, ayan, durugin namin kayo.
Parang di tropa. Tutusin kaya nila manado dun. Anyways, okay, so let's get started with the games. No, I think the most compelling, the first one would be that Perpetual versus Letran game would be very compelling. That Perpetual versus Letran game was a very tough game. And pinaka-highlight doon, I think, is the fact that Perpetual found a new weapon in their 3-point shooting, and they were having a hard time of it before that game. And June Roque really showed up in that game. And nung pinapanood ko yun, I was really concerned kasi alam ko tayo yung kalaban nila. Like, how would we respond defensively? On the Letran side naman, now I have been telling this to people in private na the thing about Letran is we all know that they're a very physical team.
Yes.
Um, it's in their brand, it's been their tradition, and they're proud of that, and I get that. That's their brand of basketball. Ika nga ni Naruto, that's their ninja way, di ba? That's their basketball way, di ba? But what is the difference between past Letran teams and this current Letran? Past Letran teams can get away a little bit with being physical. What do I mean by that? May matanggal sila, isa, dalawang player, it's not gonna really matter kasi malalim sila. A little bit deeper compared to this team. This team, may factor ka na you're giving up momentum, may factor ka na ng you're fouling out your players. You have to also contend with the fact that you're not a very deep team. A lot of your starters, half of your offense graduated.
Yeah.
You know, the likes of Luis Angalang, Brent Paraiso, and Fran Yu. So, you really have to be smarter and you really have to be more careful with the fouls you do. And honestly, if you look at the games of Letran, not just the San Beda Letran game, but a lot of these games, ang dami nilang disqualifying foul, technical fouls.
Ang dami lang at sportsmanlike.
Ang dami nilang sportsmanlike. And
manipis pa talaga ang tawag ng mga referee this season compared sa other seasons. Kasi parang ngayon, siguro sa lahat ng San Beda game na napanood ko, lahat ng kalaban natin may unsportsmanlike foul against us or meron din tayo against them. What's happening?
Alam mo, feeling ko, I think this is the byproduct of the John Amores incident.
People are getting stricter and stricter.
Oo, the league wants to clamp down on things escalating too much to the point na magkaroon na nga ng another John Amores situation kasi it's not a good look for the league. Diba?
But it's our branding. Kaya nga pinapalo ng NCAA.
Well, I don't think the league, I think yun yung motivation talaga ng liga kung bakit I could be wrong. It's just conjecture. Pero tama ka, medyo iba yung tawagan this year compared to previous years. May mga bagay ako nakikita na in previous years, bitaw na yun. Hindi na pipituhan yun. May mga nakikita naman ako ngayon na and I think I think the difference then this time is there's a review system na.
Yes.
Before kasi walang review di ba?
May VAR pare.
Oo, may VAR, di ba? Offside, the joke lang.
Anyway, sasabihin ko lang Messi will win the Ballon d'Or. Anyway, go.
Anyway, so yun nga, moving on. I think that 7-0 really encapsulated what the problem was with Letran throughout that time. Now moving on to their win versus San Sebastian. Overall, their game was really clean. Yung malinis sila sa fouls, hindi sila natawagan ng any unsportsmanlike masyado until the end of the game kung kailan medyo malayo na. But overall, maganda yung flow ng offense even though wala si Kurt Rayson. So, yeah, as you asked kanina, ano ba yung problema ng Letran? Is this an issue of whether it's Kurt Rayson or is it Renzi Bahar? I think, honestly, it's a little bit of both. Si Renzi kasi, the way he uses Kurt is, primary ball handler mo, and at the same time, scorer mo pa. So by the time na winning time na, pagod na si Kuya. Kasi siya nga yung babantayan ng tao. So instead of looking for his shots, he's looking for other people. So walang flow. And at the same time, inconsistent yung teammates niya.
Yes.
Teo Quahao has been underperforming to what the standard was supposed to be for him. Kobe Monhe din. I felt that he could have done. I had high hopes for him coming into the season na feeling ko he would really contribute kasi medyo nagpakita siya last season eh.
Yes.
In his limited role on the bench. Pero yun nga, this season parang wala ka masyado nakikita. Maybe it's the effect of his injury, but who knows?
Mhm.
Ayun, people need to be more consistent in the Letran in Letran. The players need to be more consistent in their contribution. Kasi honestly, you cannot solely rely on Kurt Rayson. No offense to Kurt Rayson. I'm not saying na he's not a good player. Pero he's not the type of player na kayang buhatin yung team.
Yes. Wala pa siya sa ganung klaseng superstar. Parang
Yeah,
alalon
he's
of his
not
time.
he's not Alalon, he's not Bolik, he's not CJ Perez.
Uy, grabe ka naman kay Bolik. I mean, Bolik is good, pero San Beda was also good during that time.
Hindi, Bolik can score 50.
Oh, well, okay. Okay, sige. But, it's not... Nag-champion ng San Beda because of the team, not just Bolik. He had Potts back then.
I know. I mean, the Bond is one of my close friends, pero I'm just saying, he's not that dude.
Okay, not yet that dude. Is it his graduating year na ba this year?
I'm not sure, pero I think it is. I think it is. So, ayun, I think both have to really work together. I think consistency talaga. And honestly, bilang isang player, ang hirap din naman kasi mag-buy in sa system na natatalo kayo.
Yeah. So, kung hindi ganon, do you think malaki ang percentage on why Letran won against San Sebastian? Na medyo malaki ang agwat 15 points. Wala si Rayson.
Alam mo, I think it's a combination of, Letran finding its flow and at the same time lumabas yung youth ng Baspe. They made a lot of mistakes. Actually, they were ahead.
Yeah.
Ang alam ko, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, pero there were times sa competitive yung larong yun, pero hindi nga mahabol. Hindi pala sila nauna. Pero nakakahabol sila, pero they couldn't really capitalize on their momentum. Again, no offense sa mga tao, pero walang go-to guy na maayos ang Paste.
Oh, that's
Wala silang go-to guy. And wala silang titipong mga RK Lagan, mga ganun, wala. They have to find a way to find offense. They're like, Baste right now is like JRU. Maayos naman yung defense. Yung JRU of before, the traditional JRU. Yeah. Maayos yung defense, pero
walang offense. Di mo alam saan manggagaling yung offense.
Yes, exactly. Hindi mo alam. So
bagay, come to think of it, I don't know anyone from Baste.
Well, si Somoda, saka si Shanoda, medyo pare sila big man. So, very interesting pangalan nila. Yeah. Kaya naman manalo nitong Baste sa totoo lang. Pero
sige, let's talk about that later. No? Unahin muna natin. Sige.
Next
San
game.
Beda Perpetual. Lumabas yung 3-point power ng Perpetual against Letran on the game last Sunday. Tapos they were ahead ang Perpetual against us nung Tuesday at the half. Tapos biglang binawian ni San Beda at the fourth quarter. So, this begs the question for me. Is San Beda the third quarter king? Or ano kaya yung mga ginagawang adjustments ng San Beda? Bakit? I think lahat ng games na napanood ko, hirap tayo na first and second quarter. Besides dun sa Letran game. Tapos by third quarter, parang biglang nag-shift gears kagad si Coach Yuri. Biglang iba agad yung laro ng San Beda. Or nakahabol kagad nila. Ano ang ginagawa ng San Beda? Bakit sila yung third quarter kings?
Well, I think it's all about the halftime adjustments. No? So, let's take for example the situation with with Perpetual and San Beda. In the first quarter, in the first half, the
perpetual altas were really focusing on Jacob Cortez. Kasi kita naman nila na the offense does run through Jacob Cortez. That's why he had a really tough time. If you look at his stats, no, throughout the game, Cortez only had 6 points. He had only had 6 points. He had 2 turnovers, and 3 assists. So medyo struggle si Jacob. Because they really keyed on, kung mapapanood nyo yung game, single high screen, iipitin nila si Jacob. So they're even denying him an attempt at a shot.
Yes.
So, kaya tayo nahirapan nung first to second quarter kasi nga, medyo nagulo yung ating offense. And Jacob was struggling. The adjustment that ginawa ni coach, I feel, is he really relied on a lot of the energy guys, specifically James Payosing and Nigel Gonzalez, to really break that. Kumbaga pinagtag-teaman nila yung scoring for Jacob to supplement it. And of course, ang laking bagay din ng performance ni Jomel Puno. No? So, if you look at Jomel's numbers, he scored 12 points and 17 rebounds. 6 of those were offensive. During that game kasi, Perpetual really took advantage nung athleticism nila. Kasi sa totoo lang, medyo mabagal bigs natin.
Oh.
Especially sina Dami sa kasi Cliff Hopia pagdating sa switches na defense. So, natatalo sila. Honestly, natatalo sila ng mga bigs ng Perpetual kasi mas maliksi sila. Kaya ang laking bagay no 17 rebounds ni Jomel Puno.
Grabe yung mga rebounds.
Yes, exactly. I think
gumagano, no? Alam mo yung nag-squat, magkakuha, parang superhero, parang anime.
Yes. Ang talaga nakatulong din sa atin talaga nun is the third quarter. We really held Perpetual down talaga the third and the fourth kasi we made defensive adjustments. We made sure that the 3-point shot was more covered this time. Yung help nandun. So, I have to give props to the coaching staff. They really do make adjustments. They really do smart adjustments on after the half. Kumbaga, they're just gonna stick to their game plan at the half. Make the proper adjustments pagdating na halftime and go from there. Pero if makikita mo, no, they really know how to use our players now. Look at the numbers nitong San Beda game na to, no. It was only Jomel who scored double digits, but the scoring overall was pretty even. You know, Peter had 9, Nigel had 8, Tagle, or revelation in my opinion sa game na yun, he had 8, James had 7, and we had like parang na-match natin yung assist ni Perpetual, pero though we are one of the lowest assist teams sa league. It was overall, if you watch the game, it was an overall collective effort. Kumbaga, this proves one thing for San Beda. Even if you close out our best player, even if you defend him, San Beda will find ways to score. And that's what you want. Kasi totoo naman eh. Hindi naman araw-araw, may mga araw talaga na ang player mo may off day. O kaya magkakaroon ng adjustment yung kabilang team na hindi mo inaasahan. So, your players, kailangan ready sila to step up. And, you know, I'm just really proud of Nigel Gonzalez and James Payosing for stepping up. You know, Emma Tagle really did a great job off the bench. And yeah, you know, Jomel Puno, man. Jomel Puno he made monster numbers. And you know, pansin mo the way he rebounds, pare. The way he rebounds kasi ang talino. Iniikutan niya yung box out sa kanya. So alam niya agad kung saan babagsak. Parang Rodman na alam niya kung saan babagsak, alam niya kung paano. Kasi alam niya,
Yung landing, pare sa akin nga yung landing para siyang anime.
oo,
Parang isang Goku. Parang, bro, what the hell?
iikutan niya yung box out.
Mm.
Ang galing. Iikutan niya yung box out.
Sige,
Tapos
talking
ako-
about Jomel, no? Punta naman tayo sa game ng San Beda laban sa Baste noong October 20. Pero nung Friday, he was the player of the game. Tapos yung San Beda noon, talaga totally trashed. It was like 2014, 2013, 2012 San Beda na talagang tinambakan yung Baste. What happened there? Talaga ba si Jomel made a difference doon? Or, kasi I think Jacob only scored 8 or 6 eh. Markado
scored
ka si
10.
Jacob. 10. 10 points. Oh, medyo mataas pala. Pero that's not his usual scoring average. Usually if si Jacob, he scores 20, 15. 28 nga, di ba? I think against Perps. So, what happened here? What caused the trashing of the stacks?
I think the thing about this time, I think Jacob was more efficient this time. And with his shots, mas mapili siya sa mga shots niya. He was more patient about it. Siyempre, nandun pa rin yung 3 points. Hindi niya give upan yun. But if you look at his numbers, no, Jacob had 4 assists, 5 rebounds, and 10 points. So overall, it was a good game. San Beda right now, kumbaga, pinapakita nila that that even though i-focusan mo si isang player, may magsa-step up.
Yeah. Tsaka yung mga surprise shots ni Andrada ha, or ni Contapay minsan. Parang pag markado na si Jacob, markado na si Puno, biglang papasok kay Contapay or kay Andrada, biglang lang, uy, tres, tapos biglang mamaya, habol na yung game. It's usually at the third and fourth quarter. So, yeah.
I think also the fact that San Beda has been playing in a lot of close games recently really helps in their character building. Kumbaga, it shows na okay, we can win these kind of games. We can really compete and we can beat anybody even though we're down. Alam mo, ilang beses na tayo nanood ng mga games na down ng Beda, pero mahabol third quarter, fourth quarter. So it shows a lot of character for the boys. So let's look at how Yuken and Jomel Puno really played this game. So Yuken, he really played a really good game. He shot 40% from the field and 40% from the 3-point line, which is a really high clip, in my opinion. Kasi those were really crucial threes, especially coming into the third quarter. So he had 16 points, 8 rebounds. Really good showing for him. Honestly, if it wasn't for Jomel, he would have been the player of the game, in my opinion. But yeah, Jomel Puno. The thing about Jomel, it's not just the stats with him. It's how he plays, how he affects the play. Sobrang nakaka-demoralize.
Yeah, tsaka the hustle. The hustle.
Ang hirap niya kasing bantayan. If you're, let's say, 6'6 guard, actually 6'6 guard, a 6'6 forward, paano mo babantayan si Jomel na marunong magdala ng bola? Ang taas ng talon, ang haba ng kamay, kumbaga, para lang depensahan mo yung shot niya, kailangan ma-meet mo siya. Ang hirap i-meet nung shot niya. Tapos ang mahirap pa, yung turnaround J niya from the mid-range. Yung ginagawa niya minsan na sasaksak siya sa gitna, sasaksak siya sa the middle of the key, turnaround jump shot, o kaya rebound, tapos ganun na lang, tatapik niya. Ang hirap depensa nun. His basketball IQ with rebounding is really, really, really good, in my opinion. And it's clear na as the games went on in this first round, he got used to the physicality of the NCAA. And I feel naman na nakaranas na rin siya during the preseason. He's really coming into his own. And mention din yung pinost natin nung the upside of this kid was even noticed by, in my opinion, one of the greatest college basketball coach of San Beda.
The run and gun maestro himself.
Yeah, he's
Pero nagulat ako nun, nung pinakita sa atin yung post na yun.
Pero imagine mo si Jomel Puno nasa run and gun.
Dude, I can imagine. Magsha-shine siya. But, nonetheless, okay pa rin ako kay Coach Yuri kung paano siya ginagamit ni Coach Yuri.
Yeah, no, he's good. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, you would see why Coach Frankie would like this kid kasi it fits well with his system. Guy can bring the ball. He has good sense for the basketball pagdating sa rebounding. Alam mo yun, ito, he develops a three. Sky's the limit.
Yeah. Kaya natatakot na ako, baka maano na eh. Mapirata na ng ibang school eh.
Alam mo, ito lang, mahal siya ng community. You know? Ang sa akin, siguro ang hinihiling ko sa community, even when we talk about players, siguro, especially in public forums, make it constructive criticism.
Tama.
Sometimes kasi minsan nakakalimutan natin, these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
These are college students. They have academics. Diba? Kasi minsan doon yung mga community na naiisip natin na player lang sila. You know?
Yeah.
They're mature na. But in reality kasi, it's not like that. Kahit sabihin mo training yan for the professional leagues.
Exactly.
They're still young people.
Exactly. And there's a way to be constructive about your criticism. You don't have to call them names or you call them this and that, ganyan. You have to be fair. You have to know where you're coming from, diba?
So, sige, talking about criticisms, no? Before that pala, I would say na ang San Beda player of the week natin is Jomel Puno.
Yes.
Okay. So, it's not Cortez na inisip ng marami dapat si Cortez lagi kasi he is the star. He is the king lion right now.
Yeah.
Pero, you were telling me before the episode, you heard criticisms about Cortez.
Yeah.
Explain it further.
Well, some people, and I get where they're coming from, no? Some people feel that Cortez is great. He's a great player, of course, but the thing is, ang Achilles heel niya is always the consistency. Especially the free throw line. Hirap siya sa free throw line eh. He leaves a lot sometimes of points at times. And yun minsan yung attempts niya na nakita mo frustrated siya, minsan napipilit. And again, he's that type of player and I respect that. Pag winning time na, he takes the ball and I get and I respect that.
Yeah.
I think alam naman din niya yun. I think alam din naman niya yung part na yun that he needs to improve. Actually, I saw him in an interview that him and Coach Yuri would talk about his efficiency and he's aware of it. And I think he will just get better. Siguro, that aspect of this game, if he really becomes more consistent and becomes more kalma lang. Kasi he has all the tools. He has all the tools and I think he has the mental capacity, mental capability to really fix this. Especially, grabe yung coach niya sa bahay.
Yes, at si coach laging nandoon.
Oo.
Yung coach sa bahay laging nandoon sa games niya.
Grabe yun. Parang nung nakita ko siya doon for the first time noon live, oh shit, he really is here.
The cool cat himself watching the cool cup. Pero
tapos
you said that, no? Kasi sa akin naman, in the last two games na pinanood natin this week with Jacob Cortez, pag crunch time na, pag winning time na, he knows how to pass the ball and he does it with style, bro.
Hindi naman siya bakaw eh. Hindi naman din siya selfish player. It's just that when it's winning time, he does what he feels is needed. And I respect that. Siguro yun lang. Things to work on lang ba? And I still think he's a great player. I still believe that he's destined for a great future dito sa San Beda. But yeah, things to work on and I hope for the best for him. He if he does that, he achieves that, he's gonna go through another level. He's on a different level right now, in my
Yeah.
opinion, with
Definitely.
guards, in college basketball guards. But when he keys on that, he becomes more controlled, or he feels that he's kumbaga maayos niya yung mga ganong little things. He's gonna go even higher, and I'm excited for that.
Okay. So, tapos ka na San Beda? May sabihin ka pa about San Beda?
Siguro just give a shout out to the coaching. Really great coaching this week. Excited for really great coaching for San Beda this week. Great adjustment.
Siyempre, babalik na si Coach Yuri eh.
Oo, ang ganda ng And again, shout out to the bench. They really showed up this week in
Especially
both
Baste.
teams. Yeah, especially Baste. The bench really showed up. So kudos to that.
Yeah, okay. So, tapos na tayo for San Beda and Letran. Inuna lang ni Paolo ang Letran. Siguro Letranista na siya. But let's move to what we both think is the game of the week and probably the game of the season. Di pa natin alam. There are still a lot of games left. The second round is about to start next week. Pero so far, the best game of the season for me and the best game of the week for both of us, JRU versus LPU, double overtime magic. Bro, I was on my way home from work. Pinapanood ko to on my phone, driving. Pare, pag uwi ko sa bahay, hindi pa tapos yung game. Sa parking ako for the next 30 minutes just to finish the double overtime. What can you say about this game?
It was great. It was a wonderful game. It really showed to a lot to the quality of both teams, honestly. Ang lalim nila parehas eh. Ang lalim nila parehas. And looking at the stats here, no. Enoch Valdez scored 24 points. And John Bravo scored 20, Sean O'Malley 9. Kumbaga, a lot of people, and then when you go to JRU naman, Giab, who basically just missed 3 shots the whole game. He missed only 3 shots the home game. And he scored 18 points with 8 rebounds. This was a real test for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into that game, Lyceum was undefeated.
Yeah.
Basically, they were having their way throughout the league. And JRU, I felt, even before this game, was a very scrappy team. They are a team
They are your
that...
best team. Pag walang San Beda, JRU ka this year.
Yeah, they're a good team. I really like how they run their system. Coach Louis, it's really, for me, as a player's coach,
Mm-hmm.
he gives a lot of confidence to his players. Like, Asia Miranda wasn't like this last year.
Yeah. Both coaches of both teams.
Both
Both are
coaches.
great. Maganda yung philosophy nila. I hear them sa post-match interviews. Magaling sila mag-coach and they're both motivators. Which is pretty good.
Nakatulong talaga kay AJ Miranda yung pag-MPBL niya. Tumaas yung kumpiyansa niya kasi he wasn't like this eh. So, ayun, even though hindi masyado nakapagpakita si JL De Los Santos, si Sean Argente din hindi masyado nakapagpakita kasi medyo mala siya sa 3 eh. But this really showed a lot about the character of both teams. But JRU with the execution down the stretch, especially by Giab and AJ Miranda. Laking bagay. Saka yung pagkawala ni Enoch, yung pagka-foul out niya, he fouled out. I think that really put a cog in the attempt. Yeah. Pero even though natanggal si Enoch, si Renz Villegas was really asking for the ball. He wanted to take that win. They really wanted that win. So right now, for me, yun talaga yung pinaka-best game talaga. Props to JRU, who kanina lang din won again against Arellano.
Yeah. By a good margin.
Bounce back game din for our Gente who scored, I think, more than 15 points. Diba? After struggling. Sobrang struggle siya last game eh. So, yeah, I mean, this is a real good test. This was a real good test for both teams. For Lyceum, it shows that they can compete, pero siguro wake up call din na, oh shit, these teams can match us. Diba?
Yes.
And JRU, it's a good bounce back win for them kasi they lost to us, to San Beda.
Yes.
Sila sa San Beda, and a tight game din. They only won by 4 points. So it just brings confidence to their team, ng mga ganitong klaseng panalo. Meaning, it's a signal to the league that, hey, we are out here, we can compete with anybody, don't take us lightly. Diba?
Ito yung sinasabi natin last week, no, na maganda na talaga NCAA ngayon. All teams are competing, lahat nakakatakot. Kasi, during our time, these are the underdogs eh.
Yeah.
Parang JRU, Lyceum, madali lang yan. Tapos, inangat nga ni CJ Perez during his time, yung Lyceum, tapos ngayon, they're on top of the league. Kasama si Mapuan with us.
Exactly. And you know what's really glaring dito sa game na to? The ball movement of JRU was really great. If you look at the assist numbers, JRU had 25 assists compared to Lyceum's 14.
Mm-hmm.
So, it really shows na there were a lot of, kumbaga maraming nagpapasama, maraming gumagawa. A lot of people contributed. I mean, Giab had 18, Miranda had 14, Junicio had 14, Sarmiento had 9. Argente, kahit hirap siya, he still scored 8 points. So, alam mo yun? And also yung game winner ni Jonathan Medina,
Yes,
wild.
sir. Pare, he was he the player of the game? Pero if I remember correct,
Giab was the player of the game.
yeah, Medina was good.
Yeah, no, he wasn't expected to be the one to take that kasi, kumbaga, ano na lang yan eh, kinuha na lang yan eh, opportunity na lang yun. But yeah, that defensive stop din, laking bagay.
Sige,
So really happy for JRU.
Yeah.
JRU deserves this. I mean, good, great. Congrats to the JRU community.
I would love to see them in the Final Four against us. Pero tatalunin natin sila. But I would love to see them in the Final Four against us.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about these two underdogs. Pero ito, papaguess kita. This came from an article sa GMA. So, this is also another underdog in the NCAA. So, sabi ni coach nila, so I challenge a player sa practice na kung hanggang doon lang ba yung kaya namin pakita. Kasi nung hanggang doon lang, wag na kami mag-aspire sa Final Four. Sabi naman nila na hindi lang yun yung kaya nila. We played our hearts out today and lucky for us, we got the win. And he also emphasizes that to treat each game as their last. What do you think this team is?
Kailan naglaro?
They are former underdogs that are now competing at the highest levels of the NCAA. And yes, sir. Takot daw San Beda dito. What can you say about EAC? And we're up against them later. If you're listening this paglabas sa episode na to, magkalaban ng EAC at San Beda mamayang Sunday, October 22. And what do you think about EAC?
They're a dangerous team. They are a dangerous team. If you look at the standings.
Wait, before that, we have to go on a break, but hold that thought. San Beda versus EAC after the break. See you guys later. And we're back, guys. Thank you for sticking with us. Paolo, sorry, I had to cut you off kanina. But San Beda versus EAC later today, Sunday, October 22. What do you think?
They're gonna be a dangerous team, man. They're a dangerous team. I'm telling you. Right now, yung standings nila, they're up there. I think they're in the third or fourth part of the standings. But really, they're a tough team. I mean, they just beat Benilde in a tough game. They won by 2 points. They showed a lot of grit in that game. I mean, anytime you're going up against Mig Zoxon, you know how he is. You know how much of a baller
It's gonna rain in Manila if Mix is there.
Diba? So he went up against those dudes. And here's the thing. You know how many points Migs had in that game?
How many?
3.
What? So
He only
they are defensive stopper, no?
They really keyed on him defensively. He only shot 1 3-point the whole game. But Robbie Naive had a field day. Robbie Naive had a field day though. So
Well,
not gonna lie.
that surprises me, ha? Knowing Migs Oxon. Pare, last year kinatakutan ko to. Kasi
So-
bigla lang umuulan eh. Tapos pag
Yeah.
sabi nga ni Don sa akin, shout out to Don, the former president of the San Beda College band, no? College pa lang sila nun. Pare, pag si Migs talaga hinawakan yung bola, pare, it's magic. Tapos ngayon 3 points lang against EAC. What
Yeah.
happened?
I think they really keyed on him. Kumbaga hinayaan nila na si Naive ang pumatay sa kanila. Imbis na si Migs. I think that's what happened. I think also yung foul trouble din ni Gozum really hurt them in that game. A side note, Gozum, medyo flop ka naman talaga. Medyo yung flop naman na talaga yung ginagawa niya. I get it, some calls he should have gotten.
Yeah.
But if you keep flopping kasi the referees are gonna figure you as a flopper, so they're not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Yeah.
So
That's true. All sports eh. Tsaka lalo na ngayon, para sinabi nga, pinag-usapan natin kanina, sobrang tight na ng refereeing in the NCAA. At malamang, pag nasabihan ka ng flopper, ang tingin sa'yo, flopper ka na talaga eh.
parang ano yun eh, parang feeling ata ni Bill Gozum nasa English Premier League.
Sa EPL.
So, nasa EPL siya. Pero yung buong Pilipinas nasa Japan.
Pero totoo naman kasi, like, even our friends, pag pinapanood natin ng Binild live, talagang nagagalit sila kasi ang flop talaga ng Binild. No,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, they're a good team. And siguro nasa game plan nila yon. So,
Yeah.
are you saying, ito if ang tradition sa Letran ay manakit at
I'm not saying that. Calm ourselves. Papatrouble tayo dito. Second episode pa lang natin. Gusto mo ma-cancel ng Binild community? Nagkukuha naman eh.
Pero siguro yon, if Migs is listening to this podcast, baka sana isihan natin ang pagka-flop.
Hindi, si Will.
Si Will. Sorry.
Anyway, but I'm saying he's still a good player. He's just, yun, maybe aralin din niya yun. Ano alam ko, di ba? Anyway, si Oxon, anyway, he struggled. The player of the game in this game was JP Maguliano. He's a really good big man. He has 17 points, 12 rebounds. No? 5 of which were offensive rebounds. I think this will be a really interesting matchup between Maguliano and Jomel Puno. No? It's going to be a really interesting matchup between Maguliano and Jomel Puno or Maguliano and Yuki and Andrada.
So, before you told me ang edge ni EA ng generals is their general themselves, yung coaching staff, no?
Yeah.
Talagang, that's what separates the generals now, the present generals, to what they were before. So,
Yeah.
besides the coaching staff, ito namang sinasabi mo yung big man nila, ang difference maker nila.
Yeah. Last year, he wasn't playing like this.
Mhm.
He came into this game, into the season, he lost 20 pounds.
Mm.
He lost 20 pounds, 25 pounds, mga ganun. And he's been really playing well. Another guy na, syempre, you have to look out for, two guys actually, is Cosejo and Robin. Cosejo can really hit the three. Magaling na player. May sense of ball. He really knows how to contribute then, and he plays within the system. But one of my favorite players dito sa EAC Generals na team na to is Kyle Ochavo.
Mhm.
Kyle Ochavo comes from the Mavs phenomenal basketball program.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Kaya this is
Yeah.
a difference maker. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He's small. He's my height. He's 5'8", 5'7", siguro. Maliit siya.
Ang lupit niya mag-crossover. As ang hirap niyang batayan pag nagko-crossover siya kasi mababa pa yung dribble niya. So ang hirap niyang agawan.
Handles are good. Handles are good.
Handles are good. So you gotta give it to him. Ochavo had 7 assists, 9 points. It's really good numbers for him. So yeah, the thing with Jerson Cabiltes team right now is ang ganda ng ball movement nila. Ang ganda ng screens nila, off-ball screens, trying to find the open man. Talagang ball movement, focus on the ball movement, and I love it. So I think it's gonna be not just a good matchup between the teams, but a good matchup of coaching.
Yes.
Kasi both teams emphasize ball movement eh. So, pagalingan pumasa ng basketball to. Pagalingan gumalaw off the ball. And I'm really interested how these teams will adjust to each other, considering na they both have only 1 day of preparation to face each other. So, yeah, this is gonna be a really interesting game. I do expect us to win. But I think it will be a very tight game. Siguro, yeah, it's gonna be a very tight game. Hindi ko lang mabigyan ng exact number or whatever, pero I really feel it's gonna be a good game tomorrow.
Parang perpetual ang laban.
It has the possibility. It has the possibility of having that kind of vibe, especially with the type of players they have. These players are not scared to shoot.
Yes.
Pero at the same time, they don't make stupid shots. Maganda yung percentages nila eh. From the 3-point line, they're 43% from the field. So that's a pretty high. That's pretty high for them. Maganda yung percentages nila overall. Free throw, 58%. So not bad na rin. Yeah.
So, for example, you're Coach Yuri or you're part of the coaching staff of San Beda today, it's Saturday, and you're preparing the team for tomorrow's game, how will you lock down the Generals' big man, Ochavo? How do you contain this? How will San Beda defeat the Generals?
It's really just about the quality of player, quality of big men. I mean, nasa hindi maganda yung pero we have a deeper bench, I think, than the AC Generals. So I think if we're gonna isolate Maguliano, it's all about, being wary of the switch, being wary of the pick and roll, box out, locking down the paint. Our bigs, especially Dami and Popia, really need to do a better job of defending kasi JP Maguliano is a really tough player. He can beat you talaga. He can beat you from 3. He can beat you on the inside. He was 50%. He had 2 3-pointers last game against Benilde. So we have to really be wary of that. Yeah, and I feel just do the same thing na we've been doing, spread. Kasi tignan mo, binagbalasan ng rotation this past game.
Yeah.
Against Baste. I think this is also in preparation for the second round. Yung ginawa na yun ni Coach Yuri, yung pagbalasa niya ng players.
Pang warm up din sa bench natin talaga.
Yes, rotation. So to see how things can work out, how things can paano niya pwedeng i-adjust yung lineup niya, what could work, what could not work. So yeah, I expect a lot from this game. And medyo takbuhan tong EAC eh.
Yeah, tama.
Takbuhan to eh. Pero takbuhan, ball movement, all of that. Yeah.
So this will be the last game of San Beda in the first round. And is it win or lose? Second place tayo ending the first round?
I think so, yeah. Since like yung Mapua won earlier. They solidified the first spot this game. So for the first round. So ngayon, if we win here, we solidify the second spot coming into the second round. and we go from there.
Okay. All right. So we are at the end of the first round. Before we end that, I have just one question regarding the first round. Before we jump to the second round, will Letran start a fire tomorrow? Will they continue the fire? Will they continue the blaze? Or they just got lucky sa Basten?
Um, Sino nga
They're,
kalaban nila bukas? Sorry.
they're up against Binil, which is another team na medyo nag-iinit na rin. Gusto na mag-init for the second round.
Okay. That answer really depends on whether or not Grayson's coming back. Is he coming back?
If he's coming back, would it be okay? If he's not coming back, will it not be okay?
Uh I think they definitely would make adjustments to that, um to the realizations ng um that they had with San Sebastian. I will still pick Benilde
Mm-hmm.
over Letran. However, what I would say is this: it's going to be tighter than people expect.
Really?
Yeah,
Really? It's not gonna be a blowout.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Um, just as long as these things happen, smart, be smart with the fouls, consistency with players. Itong mga dalawang bagay na to kasi hindi na makokontrol ng coaching staff yun eh. It's with the players na mismo eh. Diba? If
Okay.
they
So,
do these two things, I feel that they can do better with Benil. Kasi Benil, they can score on you by Miggy Corteza, Mig Sokson, Will Gozum, Robin Ives, shown he can score. They can score on you on multiple levels. Letran hasn't really shown that this season. Ngayon, kaya nga I'm picking Benil over them. But if they do that, if they are disciplined with their fouls, if they are disciplined with the system, they stick to the system, they contribute. I feel they can take a win. I feel that, well, not a win, but I feel that they can make it competitive.
okay. I can't wait for that. If you're gonna watch the games, by the way, just a shout out again to the Ultras Bedistas or the San Beda Ultras. If you guys don't have anyone to watch with during San Beda games, hit one of them up, the Ultras Bedistas, and they will be glad to meet you there. If hindi kayo makakanood, mamaya Paolo will be there during the game or in many more games. So, shout out to them. Kasamahan namin kayo. May the fellowship never cease. Kahit tito pa kayo, kahit oldies pa kayo, kahit bata pa kayo, hasamahan kayo ni Alumni Paolo.
What the fuck, man? I don't like this funding. We have to talk about this. We have to renegotiate this whole thing. I don't like this.
Pero, sige, going to the second round,
Oh,
ito yung question ko eh. Kasi, binil nga pinag-usapan natin. By the way, the second round will start this Tuesday. I'm not sure. We'll update you guys kung sino magpe-play, sinong mga teams sa schedules. Pero, ito ang question ko talaga sa second round. Will Benil blaze it up? Will they start blazing it up?
I think they're too good of a team. They're too well coached not to make a run this second round. Honestly, we see it now, diba? We see it naman now ngayon na with the way they're playing on and how they're performing. Um, they've been really doing well.
Mm-hmm.
So I do expect them to really do well this coming second round.
So besides Benil, who are the other teams teams to look for coming into the second round? I got San Beda, of course. Jomel Puno improving, familiarizing himself, and another star for San Beda. JRU, we've seen them double overtime, Lyceum. Sino pa ang mga teams to look out for the second round?
Aside from the teams that you mentioned, no, Perpetual is one team that I think they're hitting their stride this season. They've been really competitive with a lot of the top teams. A lot of people actually were talking to me about Perpetual kasi honestly, I wasn't really familiar with the Perpetual team prior to the season. And a lot of people who were watching them this preseason, they were telling me, pare, perpetual nasa Final Four ko. Oh, recent ko, really? Wow, interesting. So, ganun. So, now I see what they're talking about. Now I see what they mean. Um, Coach Mick Sagigit's squad really showed up and stepped up this coming at the habang patapos tong first round. So yeah, I know I see them making splashes this coming second round, man.
Is it safe to say though that Arellano and Letran are out of contention or pwede pa silang humabol going to the Final Four?
I can't be mathematically sure, pero it's really hard to come from that hole, 'di ba? Baka we'll have to check how the mathematics work on it, pero it's really hard to come out of that hole. And yeah, I just don't personally, well, a lot of crazier things have happened, but I just don't think both teams have the depth to really make a comeback and challenge for a Final Four spot, considering the quality of the other teams.
Mhm. So, teams to look out for, of course, San Beda. Mapua is still there. Lyceum is still there. JRU is there. EAC, we will figure out tomorrow kung kaya ba nila lumaban, no? So, in my head, correct me if I'm wrong, in my head, there are 6 teams vying for the Final Four.
Yeah,
Ba
it's
kulang?
possible.
Ilan ba tayo? 9? 10 teams.
9.
9 teams. So, Letran, Arellano, medyo malabo, but hindi natin alam. Then, Lyceum, JRU, EAC, Mapua, San Beda. Am I missing something? Let us see. San Sebastian, medyo malabo na kaya.
Para sa akin, mahirap sabihin kasi they've gotten a couple of wins, pero again, I just don't think they have the depth. So yeah, this Final Four is really, I think, limited dun sa mga nabanggit natin.
But this is very exciting pa rin, no?
Oh,
Especially, you're not seeing 4 teams compete for the Final Four. Gone are the days na yung Final Four, bahala na kung sino yung third and fourth slot, pero yung first and two, alam mo na kung sino pupunta.
yeah.
Ngayon,
Dati kasi one and then others.
no, it's a 3. It's actually 3.
Oh,
It's always San Beda, it's always Letran. Tapos ito, it's either Baste, Arellano, Lyceum, depending on their era. PCU pa isama mo. Pero, yeah, very exciting, no? Very exciting for this season. Then, to end our episode, pare, who do you think, for you, is the NCAA Player of the Week? Mauna muna ako, I think it's Jomel Puno. The kid is improving, familiarizing himself with the physicality of the NCAA. Pare, this guy, same time last year, I remember telling you, we were in the arena, Cortez will be the superstar. Kasama pa niya si Cueco Taynon. I was correct. Cortez is a superstar now. Sabi ko rin si Cometa, pero bigla kasi lumipat ng binild eh. Now, I'm seeing Jomel Puno coming out as the next big superstar of San Beda. Who is your NCAA Player of the Week?
Honestly, kung hindi lang paulit-ulit, I'd pick Clint Escamis again. He played
What?
balls to the wall. Man. But
Okay.
what I will pick is his teammate, Bonifacio.
Bonifacio playing for JRU. Tama ba? Mapuho pala. Okay.
Mapuwa.
Bakit
So,
Bonifacio?
okay. With Warren Bonifacio kasi, he's been on, lalo na last year, medyo hirap sila. Medyo he's really showing up right now. Though last game medyo nag-struggle siya sa perpetual help. The past, yung isa namang game niya, ang ganda na nilaro niya before that. So, he's been really playing well. Um, that Mapua team is scary. Honestly, it's a scary team to go up against because you don't know where it's coming from. It can be Paulo Hernandez, it can be Warren, it can be Clint Escamis. They're just gonna kill you. They're just gonna kill you. Um, but yeah, sa akin, very interesting tong kay Warren. But I think he needs more consistency, honestly. He needs to be a little bit more consistent. Yun yung kulang sa kanya. So, yeah.
All right, so that's it for our episode this week. Catch us next week again, every Sundays at 12 noon. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Wait,
Yo,
hindi pa natin natin, yung hula natin for the schedule of San Beda. What do we think?
what do we think of what?
The schedule of San Beda. Ano yung mga prediction natin?
Sige, go. You start this. Hinapa-end ko na eh, pero sige, go.
Pasensya ka na. Gusto ko itong gawin. Hindi yan trip to. Nakikinig ka na nga lang.
O, tingnan nyo, favorite kayo talaga ni Alumni Pao. May gusto pa ibigay sa inyo na information.
So let's start off with San Beda versus Arellano. Who do you have?
San Beda, of course.
Okay, me too, San Beda. San Beda versus San Sebastian.
San Beda. They will trash Baste again.
Okay. San Beda versus EAC. November 5.
I cannot say kasi I haven't watched EAC play. To be honest with you, like
Yeah,
I'll figure out tomorrow. But you know, based from sa pinag-usapan natin, I think San Beda can do it. San Beda is just too good. Mas glued to get together ang team ng San Beda compared sa EAC. For me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have them winning against EAC.
Mm.
San Beda versus Perpetual. November 10.
You know what, bro? I'll just cut it short. San Beda will win everything. May hirapan lang sa Mapua at Lyceum ulit.
I have them losing against Mapua.
Really?
I have them losing against Mapua. And they might lose against Perpetual. Kasi it's a trap game. What do you mean by a trap game?
Mm.
It's between two really strong teams. So, game mo versus EAC, di ba? Next game mo, Perpetual. Tapos susunod mo, Mapua.
So talaga may hirapan sa tingin mo?
Ha?
May hirapan sa tingin mo ang San Beda against Perps?
Nahihirapan sila, feeling ko.
I think they can.
They can. I mean, this is a very iffy, pero may chance lang. Para naman...
You know what I think? Cortez started San Beda off in the season. Tapos Jomel Puno came in, now he's developing. Ngayon, ibig sabihin pag na-develop ka na, mamarkaan ka na ng mga kalaban eh. So, for the first half of the season, minarka si Cortez, nag-shine si Puno. Ngayon, mamarkaan na sila parehas. I think Payosing will shine.
Pwede.
So,
Or maybe
that's my thinking. Kasi lahat ng teams na to, they got their eyes on these two players. And that's what I love about San Beda. You don't know who's gonna pop off.
Yeah.
And I think it's Payosing's time.
See. Kasi yung role kasi ni Payosing is the energy guy off the bench.
Yes.
Or energy guy at the start, ganun. Yun yung role niya eh, energy guy. So let's see. But yeah, again, I'm saying natalo sa mga games na to, but I'm also saying this. I can also see San Beda winning all of these games. It's still a possibility. But with the current season, I think nobody can fault me naman in believing that lahat ng games na to pwede tayo matalo. Like, I'm not saying sweep na talo pero I'm saying na you really can't say kada laro. Kasi these teams have shown us that they can beat us talaga. Even fucking Letran. Fucking Letran almost beat us, man. You remember you were there.
just my Bedan bias. Again in this podcast, I have this Bedan bias. But I do think Mapua will be a tough match. Medyo tinambakan talaga tayo. But the way I see Coach Yuri adjust his plays, I think he can do it. And mind you,
Yeah. Let's see.
I think from what I remember, Coach Norman Black wasn't with the team during that game. Hindi masyadong na hasa yung mga big man natin. But when he came back after the game with the Blazers, medyo kilala lang tayo ng Lyceum. We need some well, wala si Coach Yuri in the second half, no. Pero with Coach Norman Black at our back, I think the development of the big men, the development of other players as well, will be more focused, and I think we can defeat Mapua by a small margin.
I will say this. I will say this. Siguro, to wrap things up, San Beda will always, knowing this coaching staff, knowing how Coach Norman does things and Coach Yuri does things, they will come in this game prepared. And they've been talking about that every time na i-interview si Coach Yuri. You can't relax. Bawal mag-relax. So, I can see them winning. I can also see them losing a couple of games. But I do believe that we will be finishing strong and we will be entering the Final Four. Yun naniniwala ako. So, yeah, I'm excited for the second round. Wow, this is the first time na mararanasan ko ang finals or Final Four on a December.
Merry Christmas to you, pare.
Diba?
Merry Christmas to us. And also, Letran, San Beda at the end of the regular season before the playoffs. It's going to be wild. I'm sure all Bedans are excited for that game, the rivalry game. Tapos susunod is Lyceum game. Umali, come on man. If you're listening, I'm not gonna say it, but San Beda will beat you. I swear to God. Pero, matapang to. I wanna see
I love
Umali
Sean O'Malley.
tapay ulit.
I'm not gonna lie. I love Sean O'Malley. He's a throwback NCAA player. I love it.
Pero, buong Belga talaga no? Parang yung PCU Dolphins.
Love it, man. I love him. He's a great player. Magaling. He backs it up. Anyway.
I wanna see Contapay against him, bro.
Let's see. The last time they matched up, medyo kinain siya ni Kunta. Kinain siya ni Sean eh.
Bino-Belga burger siya eh.
Oo eh. But yeah, sa November 24, Father Aloy, baka naman pwede mo excuse yung mga estudyante.
Yes, baka naman sa mga aking mga kliyente.
Baka naman, mga boss dyan na bibis ka, baka naman.
Pero, before we end this episode, before I tell you our chart credentials, pero, question of the week. Do you think San Beda can win it all? Comment section down below. Let me know if San Beda can win it all. Because I really believe, there's something in me that think that San Beda can win it all. Ikaw pare, ano ang question mo sa ating maraming audience? Thank you by the way to our audience. Grabe. Thank you for the support. What is your question of the week, Paolo Perez?
Siguro my question of the week. Who has the better offense? Run and gun or Coach Yuri's?
Run and gun. Para sa akin ha. Pero let's see the comment section down below, guys. Thank you for watching. That is the Upperbox podcast. And before you leave, follow us on Instagram at the Upperbox.podcast, Facebook, the Upperbox Podcast, and Spotify, the Upperbox Podcast. That's it for me. Shoutouts. Alumni Pao.
Shout out to everybody who's listening. And San Beda, everybody. Monica, good luck sa finals mo. Sa midterms mo, Monica Ferril, AJ Fabol, Chelsea Karingal, everybody in law school. Good luck sa inyo. And thanks for listening.
Yes, and see you guys next week. Bye-bye.